Coming up on SCTV3, see what students learned at the weekly Citizens Police Academy training last night.
Also, see what Patrick Fergus rates this local pizzeria on this installment of Patty's Pizza.
All that and more tonight on SCTV3.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of SCTV3 Weekly News. I'm Lanaya Delgado.
And I'm Brian Weiss. Thank you for joining us.
We begin tonight on Alden Street with a look at Springfield College Public Safety Citizens Academic Program. It consists of weekly classes offered throughout the fall semester.
SCTV3's Liam Riley looks at what this week's course had to offer.
For the first time in 10 years, Public Safety is bringing back their Citizens Police Academy. The program consists of 3-hour classes that run every Wednesday. Some of the class topics include CPR/first aid certification, K-9 demonstration, and defensive tactics. The most recent class focused on how to respond to an active attack. Officers from Public Safety led the class and went over ways of how to react in an active attack situation. This included practicing tying tourniquets and officers demonstrating how to assess a threat with plastic firearms. Students from the class feel that the program is a valuable learning experience.
Active attack situations, so teaching you like tourniquet application, combat gauze, and a couple other things like that. It's great to know these extra skills, and I'm looking forward to getting to the hands-on stuff because that's the fun stuff. You get to do ride-alongs and stuff like that. So I'm real excited.
Like a lot of real-world application, especially me, someone who wants to go into law enforcement. I think there's a lot of stuff that I could, carry over into like when I'm in the academy or when I'm actually on the job someday.
The Citizens Police Academy program is overseen by Sergeant Ian Curtis. After watching how well received the program was as prior agency, Curtis implemented the classes to help students understand the daily work of a police officer. Curtis spoke on why teaching classes like the Active Shooter Response course is important.
It's critical for people to be prepared for these types of events. So the more information that we can get out to our student body and have prepared individuals with a skill set ready to go, it just helps mitigate, God forbid, something like that were ever to happen on campus. Along with that, there's a lot more classes that go along with this program that teach other things such as decision-making ability under stress, how the police department would respond to certain things, and how general police departments would respond to certain things.
If you're interested in attending the program, the next class is Wednesday night from 6 to 9. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Liam Riley.
Springfield College is marking Constitution Day with a special lecture from historian Michael Neagle. Neagle is a professor at Nichols College and director of its History and Political Science program, spoke about how the United States has responded to terrorism over the past century. The author of multiple books and articles on U.S. foreign policy, his upcoming work, Chasing Bandits, explores America's long war on terror. The event included a 30 to 40-minute talk followed by questions and discussion. Neagle spoke on why it's important to engage the younger generation on this topic.
Well, I think it's important to hear a variety of perspectives, to hear from different scholars, experts on different things. College, you want to try to get as full of picture on things as possible. And I think ideally, you guys can bring in other speakers, you get in some different perspectives, take it, think about it, agree or disagree.
Neagle's lecture was part of Springfield College's annual celebration of Constitution Day, which commemorates the signing of the U.S. Constitution in 1787.
2 art galleries opened on Tuesday afternoon on the second floor of Blake Hall as part of the William Simpson Fine Arts Series. The way I see it is an exhibit that highlights the power of observation. The display features creative pieces from a number of local and national artists, focusing on different perspectives on both art and life. Meanwhile, the We'll Get There Eventually, a print exchange display also debuted on Tuesday. This exhibit emphasizes the importance of going through everyday situations, no matter how basic they may be. 23 national artists are included in this gallery, and all of the pieces are in print form. Anyone interested can stop by to see the galleries from now until October 24th, with both exhibits open on weekdays from 9:30 to 4.
On Sunday, Springfield's Office of Student Engagement held a club training for executive board members for all student clubs in Dodge AB. The training lasted around an hour, starting at 1 in the afternoon and ending at 2. When students first arrived, they were greeted and instructed to leave their names and club to ensure that every club was represented. Students then listened to a variety of different speeches from different members of the department on how to schedule club events, how to get approval to create branding for the club, merchandise, and how to send requests for budget spending and more. Alice Mead, the program assistant for the Office of Student Engagement, spoke on the importance of holding the event.
We change our process up slightly every year, and so we want to make sure everyone's up to date and we're getting all the forms that they need in to ensure that we're following the school's policy as well as our office policy. And then on top of that, we want to ensure that all clubs are feeling supported throughout the year.
A club training is held at the beginning of each academic semester.
Yesterday, the Latinx Student Organization hosted its Carne Asada event. 7 o'clock at night in the Dodge Room in the Campus Union, students are welcome to come by to meet new people over music and good food. The club set up tables with drinks and Latino dishes for all students to enjoy. You do not have to be a member of the club or identify as Latinx to attend the events. The club is always looking for new members to join. For more information on future events, check out at SCLSO on Instagram. If you're looking to become a member of the club, you can reach out to the president, Dominique Mickey, at dmickey@springfieldcollege.edu.
Yesterday, Springfield College's Student Government Association held elections for the class of 2029. In their emails, first-year students received instructions on how to send in an application. Yesterday, first-year students had a chance to vote for who they want to be their class officers between 8 in the morning and 8 at night. Many students put up flyers in the Union Cafe advocating for their selection to be one of 4 available roles: president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. Class officers are responsible for bringing questions and concerns from the campus community to the assistant dean for student and parent engagement.
There's a lot of loud voices on campus that get heard, but we're really trying to make sure that we're listening to those that are afraid to come forward or may stay in their room or not feel a bit of connection or belongingness. And so that first year class officers is really setting the tone for the next 4 years of how do you build connections within your class.
The winners of the elections will be announced in the very near future.
Springfield College alum and WWE superstar John Cena was in Springfield for Monday Night Raw at the Mass Mutual Center. Cena, who graduated in 1999 and played football for the Pride, came to Springfield and showed out for the packed arena. He first addressed the crowd by calling out Brock Lesnar ahead of their match on Saturday at WrestlePalooza. Cena even stuck around after the show and took a photo with members of the softball team. Cena also made a trip to campus after the event.
With the official start of fall just 4 days away, we turn to Tucker Paquette in Studio B with our local and national weather update. Tucker, will we get more of the summer heat, or will the fall weather arrive on time on Alden Street?
Thanks, guys. This weekend, we'll see lots of sunshine with a high on Sunday of 73 degrees. Next week, we'll have more clouds, but the sun will still be around. The high next week will be 83 degrees, while low temperatures will reside in the mid-50s. Now, on to some national weather. As forecasters expect Tropical Storm Gabrielle to reignite hurricane season this week. While hurricane season has been quiet as of late, Gabrielle has the potential to change that. It is expected to form in the central part of the Atlantic, then make its way to the western Atlantic by the end of the week. Gabrielle is not likely to cause much in terms of land impacts, though it may create surf and rip currents if it develops into a high-powered storm. Meanwhile, forecasters are also keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Mario and the rain that it could bring to San Diego and the surrounding areas. Back to you guys in Studio A.
After the break, see which English professor on campus teaches a full course on Taylor Swift and how she found her way to Springfield College.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it. He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
This week, writing program director and professor of English and Literature, Jill Gibitowski, sat down to discuss her journey through teaching the popular Taylor Swift literature class that she teaches on campus.
Well, I'm from the area, so I grew up in Western Mass, and I also have several family members who went to Springfield College, including my husband, but my favorite stories to tell are that my parents met here and my aunt and uncle met here, and I have other family members who are alums, so it's quite a legacy in my family. So my family was very happy when they found out that I was going to be working here. I started off as a high school English teacher, and my first job was in northern New Hampshire up in the White Mountains. So I was a high school teacher for 6 years, and then I became a mom, and I was home during the day with my daughter, and then I had another daughter after that. And so at that point, something about college teaching is that you can do part-time work. But in terms of her music, I mean, your peer group, so the students in my class this year and last year, not all of them are Swifties, I have to say, so it really runs the gamut in terms of, what the background is of the students in the class. Some are Swifties, but some just taking their literature elective, and, but of the Swifties, I mean, they grew up with Taylor Swift, since they were young, and so it's really just part of their childhood. They have a lot of sort of memories attached to whatever the album is coming up. So there's a lot there to tap into, but the focus of the class is a literature class. So we look at the lyrics and we treat them as literature. We can look at, literary devices that are there. We think about the literature from a literature lens. We think about how do Taylor's songs sort of affect the people who listen to them, like sort of at a societal level, the fandom in this case. Is growth in my students. So whether I'm teaching writing, which is mostly what I teach, first year writing, and so whether it's a writing class or whether it's a literature class, I like to have the students sort of take stock of where they are in that particular, subject matter, and grow from wherever they may be.
Jill is a very familiar face to lots of students on campus, as she also teaches courses like college writing and literature-based classes. If you're interested in improving your writing in any way, you can locate her in her office on the 3rd floor of Weiser Hall.
Yesterday, the Federal Reserve issues its first interest rate drop in 9 months, cutting 0.25%. SCTV3's Nick Pantages has more.
Policymakers in the Federal Reserve voted to lower a key interest rate 0.25 percentage point. The move is designed to keep the economy growing by making it less expensive to borrow money.
In support of our goals and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 0.25 percentage point.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said the change was in part due to gains to the unemployment and inflation rates, as well as risks of employment rising. Economists say the cut could encourage businesses to hire more workers and bolster the labor market. One of those economists is CBS's Jill Schlesinger. She explained how the decrease could affect both savers and borrowers.
So if you're a borrower, you get a little bit of help. If you're a saver, you're not going to earn as much interest on those savings accounts. Try to go online to find those 3.5%, 4% deals.
In recent months, the Fed has been under pressure from President Donald Trump to reduce borrowing costs, and this is one of the steps taken to achieve that. Powell says that the tariffs that President Trump implemented may be impacting the labor market and not inflation, but to this point, the sample size and results are minimal.
We have begun to see goods prices showing through into higher inflation, and actually the increase in goods prices accounts for most of the increase in inflation, or perhaps all of the increase in inflation over the course of this year. Those are not very large effects at this point.
Powell said by the end of 2025, he expects inflation to reach 3%, while unemployment may get up to 4.5%. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Nick Pantages.
The Fed will have 2 more meetings in 2025, and Powell suggests that the rates could drop another 1/4 percentage point at each of those 2 meetings.
We're getting closer and closer to the start of fall, meaning flu season is quickly coming upon us, and many people are rushing to this year's flu vaccine. However, a growing number of parents are becoming more skeptical of vaccinating their children. SCTV3's Liam Shannon has the story.
With flu season quickly approaching, minute clinics and doctors' offices are filling up with many trying to get this year's flu vaccine. However, a growing number of parents are becoming skeptical about not just flu vaccines, but other popular immunizations that children are recommended. According to a poll conducted by the Washington Post and researchers at KFF, 1 in 6 parents have skipped polio or MMR vaccines, which protect against measles, mumps, and rubella for their children. Parents cited possible side effects and concerns about the vaccines themselves as reasoning. Pediatrician Dr. Diane Hess shares how these vaccines are well tested and very safe.
When it's public health policy, we have people who have been doing research in vaccines for years and years. And yes, you can question science. I'm all about questioning science. But these vaccines have been used for years.
The increased skepticism comes after the Health and Human Services Director, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has continued to raise doubts about vaccine safety and effectiveness. His revamped CDC advisory panel is set to meet later this week to make recommendations as to who should get COVID shots. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Liam Shannon.
If you choose to get vaccinated, Springfield College will be hosting 3 vaccine clinics on campus this fall. The first is upcoming Monday, September 22nd, and 2 additional clinics October 28th and November 11th.
After days of speculation, the main suspect in the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk last week has been formally charged. SCTV3's Patrick Fergus has the latest updates.
At a news conference Tuesday afternoon, the Utah County Attorney announced that capital punishment was on the table for the suspected shooter of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson.
I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime.
The charges include aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. Robinson, who was taken into custody 33 hours after the shooting, allegedly shot a single bolt-action rifle from a roof near Utah Valley University. Authorities then believe Robinson dumped the gun in a nearby wooded area.
After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police.
Utah Valley reopened for classes yesterday, but the campus and the nation continues to grapple with the implications of this act of political violence.
Well, I think I speak for every person in this room, and I think I speak for a majority of our fellow Americans when I say we do not attack or commit violence against people because we disagree with their ideas. We debate ideas, and we're going to keep on debating them in honor of the great Charlie Kirk.
It doesn't matter if it's coming from one side or from the other, directed at one party or another, one person or another. It is all wrong, and it makes us all less safe.
Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Patrick Fergus.
This week, Robinson appeared before a judge virtually from jail. with his next court date scheduled for September 29th.
After the break, Connor Rourke has us covered with this week's edition of SCTV3 Sports Extra.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
See you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
This past Saturday, the Springfield College football team held its first home game of the season versus Husson. The game started with a diving catch by Austin Studley in the first quarter to start the Pride scoring. The Eagles couldn't catch up as the Pride commanded a 21-point lead into halftime. Springfield gave up a touchdown with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Ultimately, Springfield beat the Eagles 38-6 for its first win of the season. Springfield's kicker, Ian Wernick, was named the New Mac Special Teams Athlete of the Week. SCTV3's Kyle Valentine was down on the field and has more.
The Pride had a good first half, highlighted by Austin Studley, senior wide receiver, who caught his first collegiate touchdown on a diving grab from quarterback TJ Welch from 33 yards out. Welch then took it 70 yards on the very next drive to put the Pride up 2 scores in the first half. In the second half, Andrew Soltis scored with minutes to go in the game to seal the deal and put the Pride in the win column. Their spirits are high, bodies are feeling good, and minds are focused on next week. Reported for SCTV3, I'm Kyle Valentine.
The Pride travels to Wisconsin to take on number 10 Wisconsin Platteville on Saturday at 1. Also present at Stagg Field this past Saturday was the 1965 Around the World team. The 1965 Springfield College men's basketball team traveled to 8 countries, playing exhibition games and conducting clinics to promote the game of basketball to nearly 250,000 people. SCTV3's Kyle Valentine spoke to the 1965 co-captain Larry Buell about the experience.
It was decided on by Coach Stites, Edgar Stites, and he's the one that invented the three-point rule, really. And so he worked with international people. Springfield obviously had something, and they got approximately $30,000 to $50,000 to put this team to go around the world. That was in the Goodwill Tour, a piece, a sports ambassador is what we were called. And so we started training. We had all kinds of vaccines. We trained for 3 or 4 weeks. And then we all left, in end of June for this 62-day trip. Favorite memory is, for me, I work in the environmental field right now, but just to see the culture, because I grew up on a dirt farm. I had never flown or anything, so for me to be in front of the Taj Mahal or some of the other places opened up a whole new area that influenced my adult life and my careers, because I now am an environmentalist. I work with UMass, and we work about alternative separate learning. And what you know about the world is what, so the ecology that I'm teaching right now can happen anywhere in the world. So I was introduced to a new culture. Some had never met Americans. Basketball was a total new sport. I think it's this one here. This encapsulates that this is in front of the Taj Mahal, and this is an internationally known center. So we were there. We had read a little history of that, but that was part of it. And then our connections as a team. We've been coming together for 60 years. Every 2 years we have a reunion. And we tell stories, we come together, and we're realizing that what was happening in '65 is very similar to what's happening in 2025. Is that we are part of a natural, universal laws. And those laws play out in every culture, no matter what your language is. So what I'm connected to, I work with a thing where we study the outdoors, biomimicry. And if the bird and the book disagree, listen to the bird. That's true around the world. And I'm looking at places around the world where this curriculum is played out. The indigenous is one of it. And Springfield College has a lot of work to do about the enculturation of the indigenous movement, particularly at our campground. And I'm working with that on land acknowledgement. How do we honor the indigenous who are on this very land that Springfield College is on? Deep work. Springfield College has an amazing international network. So all of my connections have been based on Springfield College. When I travel around the world, even in Russia, I was able to access Springfield College graduates. So that was part of it. But beyond that, it was the vision of the spirit, mind, and body, because spirit and body, that's spirit, mind and body, that's a gut. But the spiritual part, the connection to the earth, the connection to community is what we're talking about. And so it's deep work, and I really appreciate, your young whippersnappers, keeping the story. That's what we got to do.
Buell and 7 other members of the team were honored at midfield during halftime of the football game. We now take a look to see where Springfield teams are headed in the days ahead. This previous week, Pride teams went a combined 8-3. Let's start with the teams in action on campus this week. Women's soccer hosts Babson on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Springfield looks to stay hot after its win last Saturday over Farmingham. Men's soccer takes on Emerson later that day at 4. This is also SCTV3's can't-miss matchup of the week. The Pride have already matched their home win total from last season at 3 and look to snag a 4th home win this weekend. And to cap off Springfield's home schedule for next week, field hockey faces Western New England Wednesday night. We move on to Springfield's teams hitting the road this upcoming week. Women's volleyball at Stevens on Friday night at 7:30. Springfield is on a 4-game win streak. Men's and women's cross country at Wesleyan Invitational on Saturday morning. Both teams have been strong early in the season. Men's golf at MASCAC Championship starting Saturday morning. And wrapping up the away slate is field hockey at Salve Regina on Saturday at noon. Springfield has lost its last 2 matchups to Salve Regina. For more information on teams, schedules, and anything else sports related, head to SpringfieldCollegePride.com. This week's Athlete of the Week interview stars sophomore forward of the men's soccer team, Robbie Herrera. The young talent has scored 3 goals in just 6 matches so far this season. SCTV3 reporter Caleb Knowles sat down with him in the studio this week.
Hello, I'm Caleb Knowles alongside Robbie Herrera, and welcome to this week's edition of Athlete Interview of the Week. So Robbie, my first question for you is, what has been the biggest transition going into year 2 with your huge jump in playing time?
It's just been a big leap in confidence. I've been playing well on the ball, so I think my coach has seen that, and I have a bunch of confidence in me and my team. So I've just been working hard every day in practice, and led to game time and let me be where I am right now.
So you're now up to 3 goals on the season in just 6 matches played. How have you kind of been able to find your footing on the pitch?
I found my footing on the pitch just by being where I needed to be. As long as I make the runs I need to make and finish the chances I have when it comes to me, then that's all I really need. And I trust all my teammates to give me the ball in the right position.
Yeah. What about this year's team makes you excited after, a 4-2 start, really good start to the season?
We look really good right now. All of us have been working very hard in the off season, and it really has been showing with the 4-2. It's really good. Hopefully we're gonna have a big win this weekend, first conference game. That will give us a good lead for the new MAC.
Yeah. How has your role kind of as a leader grown as you've gotten, more experience, more playing time on the pitch?
It gives me the opportunity to teach freshmen that no matter what, even if you didn't get much playing time in the year before, that as long as you just work hard and prove that you want to be there and you want to make an effort to make an impact on the field, then you will get that chance and good things will happen.
And then one final question for you. If you could play in any major stadium in the world, what stadium would you play in?
Probably the Etihad. I'm a big Manchester City fan, and playing there would be a big dream come true.
That'll do it for this week's edition of SCTV3 Athlete Interview of the Week. I'm Caleb Knowles alongside Robbie Herrera, sending it back to the studio.
Robbie will be back on the pitch for the Pride this weekend against Emerson. That will do it for this week's edition of Sports Extra. Stick around after the break to see the first installment of Patty's Pizza for the 2025-26 academic year.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Oh, Vanessa. You gonna text her back?
Nope. I'm high. I'm gonna hit the treadmill.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Nope. I'm high. How about they come over?
Where?
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
After a summer off the air, Patty's Pizza is back with a brand new review of Peppa's Pizza.
We're here at Peppa's, not the pig, but the pizza, at 33 Harkness Avenue in East Longmeadow. Let's head inside.
Tucked away in a small outlet, it can be easy to miss, but Peppa's is just about everything you want out of a local pizza shop. A small but cute indoor seating area, and a solid array for anyone who wants to sit outside. The first thing that caught my attention, of course, was the wonderful assortment of different slices, from buffalo chicken to crinkle fries, and just about every topping you can think of on your plate in a matter of minutes. The service was nice and quick, as I grabbed a margarita and plain cheese, and they did not disappoint.
Well, it's a beautiful day outside, so we decided to take this party outside, and we got a nice cheese slice here. As you can see before, they had a great array of slices available. I'm loving how it looks. Undercarriage is looking nice. Let's take a bite. That sauce is smacking me in the face. Just slap. You know, let me tell you something. For a place that stresses by the slice, this slices are delivered.
A charming space and staff, and slices that make you want to come back for more, Peppa's Pizza starts out the new semester with a bang, landing at 4.5 stars. That means for the first time since November of last year, there's a new member of the top 5. Reporting for SCTV3, I'm Pizza Pat.
That will do it for this week's edition of SCTV3. Thank you for tuning in.
We hope that you tune in next week for our next edition of SCTV3.
Same time.
Same place.